And welcome to How to Learn a Language. Yeah, the name kind of says it all. I'm Lindsay from Lindsay Does Languages, and I'm here to help you learn languages better, any language, any level. On this podcast, you'll get jargon-free linguistics insights to level up your fluency, practical mindset tips to tackle those inevitable learning wobbles, personal language diaries where I share my own progress and honest experiences, and an exclusive peek behind the scenes of language life. My coaching program that helps people speak fearlessly and intuitively by taking control of your learning without pressure or one-size-fits-all cookie-cutter methods. If you're ready to break free from perfectionism and finally start speaking the language you want, you're in the right place. Want to get started right away? Head to lindsaydoeslanguages.com/free video for your on-demand video training. All right, let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to How to Learn a Language. Today, we're talking about why I love learning uncommon languages, because the assumption might be that it's for clout or showing off online or just self-aggrandizing kudos, but no, that is not it. So I wanted to talk about this because I think it's an interesting one that sometimes can kind of put us off learning a language because we think that that's what other people will think about us. And I don't want that to be the case. I want you to learn whichever language you're most drawn to, or you most need to, or you most want to. So for a bit more context here, I have studied many languages over the years to all different stages in all sorts of ways. And typically for me, those languages are connected to travel. Now, I'm not afraid to learn a language because it's lesser studied, or I've never met anyone else that's learned it, or there's less speakers to actually use it with. So as well as quite commonly studied languages like French, German, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Japanese, Korean, Russian, I've also spent some time studying languages like Indonesian, Guarani, Sinhala, Lithuanian. And the big question might be, why? Well, a little effort goes a long way. Typically, it feels like the less speakers, or the less second language speakers even of a language there are, the less language that you need to be appreciated. So we've all heard the stories, right? The stereotype, or maybe even experienced firsthand, the idea of a French waiter just turning their nose up at your off pronunciation and switching to English, or a Spanish-speaking shopkeeper responding again and again with a K, when you're trying to speak something. And that obviously isn't always going to be the case for those more widely studied and widely spoken languages. But when you're somewhere that people don't expect foreigners to know the language, in my experience, they're always grateful that you made any effort. So even a little tiny bit really goes a long way. And the story that always comes to mind when I talk about this is, for me, Sri Lanka. It was like my first or second day there. We'd gone into a bakery outside Colombo station to grab some food to eat before a train ride. And the guy behind the counter, the only word that I can describe it was gobsmacked. Like, he was so, wow, what is happening? all I did was say hello, ask for one of these and two of those, say please, say thank you, whatever that was in Sinhala. And it just really made my day. It made his day, just good vibes all around, you know? So it's really not a case of needing to go far with every single language that you approach. And I think that that's always worth mentioning. And the second reason is that it's very insightful. I learn so much about the world through language, and the same applies for however widely studied or widely spoken that language is. Perhaps even more so. You know, language contains insights into every aspect of life, history, social ways, cultural values. It's all wrapped up in words. And so the more you can understand about a place before going there, the better experience you're likely to have. Paraguay is my example here. This is probably the least visited country in South America. In fact, I say probably, I'm pretty sure that it is in terms of like actual tourist visitor numbers and stuff, but it left the biggest impression on me. Why? Because Guarani. So Sure, they speak Spanish in Paraguay, but they also speak Guarani and Jopara, which is a language variety mixing the two languages. And Guarani words are embedded in shop names, signs on the walls of cafes, daily interactions. Knowing when I was spotting a Guarani word and what it meant really felt like insider info, right? It just felt like, oh, I understand this place. I understand what that means. And that's always a really good thing. Always a great feeling to have when you're somewhere new. So it's very much insightful. I could have absolutely gone to Paraguay and just experienced that place in Spanish, and I'm sure it still would have been interesting and insightful. But just having that little bit of knowledge of Guarani really helped to enhance the whole experience. It's just a really insightful thing to understand a bit of a local language in a place. And my final point here really on this is that it's no different. If we take away the idea of learning any language for clout or kind of showy offiness of being able to put it on your badge at the next language event or whatever, like honestly, it doesn't matter how commonly spoken or commonly studied that language is. My personal reasons, and yours too, for learning one language to another will always be slightly different, right? It might be that there's a trip coming up, or you want to improve on what you know, or there's a resource you've got hold of and you really want to have a chance to use it. But the core reasons for learning languages for me, always the same. It's no different whether it is superly commonly studied or an uncommonly studied one. I couldn't care less about the clout, the bragging rights, because I'm not aiming to be tested, right? I'm just trying to be a better, more informed, more well-rounded citizen of the planet, right? So my core reasons are always the same. Now, I'm telling you this because I know that perhaps there is a language that you're curious about, that you would like to learn a little or a lot of, but you're worried that if you go for it, you really have to go for it. And I will be honest, I've felt this too in the past. I really felt that languages like Russian, Arabic, Chinese, they all felt like the only way I can describe it is go big or go home languages. Right? Like once you start, you are committed and you have to see it through to the very end. And I think part of that is the online discourse around them is, maybe we should say, a little kind of dude bro-y, I think we can say. And so it makes you feel like you're not the right fit language learner for certain languages. And perhaps you felt the same about uncommon ones. Maybe you felt like you need to finish French before you get curious about Breton, or you need to finish Spanish or get to B2 before you sort of look into Catalan, and or something completely different. Maybe you feel like you need to finish those languages before you tackle Bulgarian, whatever it is, right? It's not true, right? You can start whatever language you want when you want. If you're curious about it, if you feel that pull towards something, just really go for it. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait until you're checking boxes of some imaginary qualified, like, yes, you are ready for this language list. Doesn't exist. Just start. Whichever language it is, however commonly studied or widely spoken it is, just give it a go. And so I wanted to just share with you that actually learning a commonly spoken language or an uncommonly studied language should be no different. If we approach it all with the same mindset, then actually we're doing ourselves just the biggest favor. As always, if this has sparked something for you, I would love to hear about it. You can email me at lindsay@doeslanguages.com or share this episode with a friend who's working through something similar. Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to How to Learn a Language. If you've enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you're ready to take your language learning to the next level and speak with confidence without the pressure or perfectionism, then check out Language Life. You can find out all the details and join at lindsaydoeslanguages.com/LL. And if you want the first free step today, head to lindsaydoeslanguages.com/free video to get started with a fresh way to learn languages. Until next time, stay fearless, stay curious, so you can learn languages your way.